Shut up and refill more popcorn. Shut up and refill more popcorn.
Waka waka guys, welcome back to another episode of Shut Up and Refill My Popcorn, the extra butter feed, concluding the month of July with the whole Alien versus Predator franchise redo, getting into the BiZaRrO world here with friend of the show, friend of the extra butter feed, Mr. CJ Emanuel. What is up, dude? How are you doing today?
After all this time, bro, he's still the biggest mark of all time.
What's going on, Nietzsche? How you doing, my friend, my brother, hermano?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty good, man. Hopefully, let me fix my levels here. All right, that's a little better. Yeah, man, same old stuff, different day. We just recorded the Iron Claw review last week, and I was letting you know, as I was letting the people know, that I was gonna do a BiZaRrO episode on the Predator franchise, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do. Obviously, this movie is a classic. We're talking about the 1987 first installment with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Yes.
And I couldn't decide between that one or the 2010 Robert Rodriguez film Predators with an S. You said you wanted to. You've seen this movie, obviously, and a fan of it, and so fuck it. I was like, well, do you want to let's review it for this BiZaRrO episode? You said yes, and that's why we are here. We are,
and it fits that gimmick with Jesse Ventura being in the cast as well. Of I like doing the reviews about wrestling or with a wrestler in the cast. So this was I was like, oh yes, let's do this one. Please let me do this.
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is the criteria we go by when we do our collaboration with your podcast, Comic Chops. How's that going? How's that unveiling?
Well, you know how I am. It's still episodes in the can. I go back and forth between what's the next one I want to do between the Vince Russo episode and the Devin Benish episode. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. So just stay patient. That gives you plenty of time to enjoy episodes 1 and 2, which is parts 1 and 2 conversation with homeboy Nicho here. And we talk about life. We talk about comedy. We talk about getting started in podcasting, and pretty much if you want to get to know the backstory on how we collaborated and our partner creating content, check out those episodes, man. And they're available on your favorite podcasting platform, Apple, Spotify, all them shits. So
yeah.
Go out there, check them out. Give me some feedback too. Yeah,
man. Like we're no stranger to hearing some creative criticism or whatever, getting that feedback. And yeah, man, so far as of today, we've probably done we've done quite a bit of recordings. We've had Devin. We had Devin on for an episode. We had your boy Drew Blues on.
Oh man, Drew Blues is doing his damn thing. Devin is too. They're both doing their damn things around San Antonio, South Texas.
Oh yeah.
And beyond, Drew is doing his damn thing. I'm really proud of that dude, man. He's been putting in the work.
I saw he was in my neck of the woods.
Every time I see him, man, he's a character. Every time I'm out doing open mics and stuff, I pop. I know I'm gonna have a good time when Drew is in the house. Shout out to the
you can't miss him. You can't miss him.
No,
he got that swag. He got that South Texas swag with that cowboy hat.
In that raggedy ass van with those squealy ass brakes and shit. You can hear him like a 2.5 mile radius and shit. So shout out to my man, the Puff Puff Pastor, aka Drew Blues.
The Puff Puff Pastor. Do I got an Could you hear that?
And I like that. And I like that.
Let's go ahead and get into the BiZaRrO episode here on 1987's Predator. I'll let you go first. First impressions, first thing that comes to mind when you hear that word Predator in reference to a film and not a person.
Hold on.
tremendous.
Tremendous.
I love
Okay.
that one.
All right. So you said my first thoughts about. All right. So I think the last time I saw this movie from beginning to end had to be probably late 80s, early 90s. And at the time, I probably seen it 500 times from the time it came out until that time frame. It's one of those. This is when Arnold was in his prime, and this is right in the middle of his run. From, if you want to count, from Conan the Barbarian, the Terminator, and I'm kind of out of order. Commando, Predator, all the way until like early 90s. T2. I mean, he had some goofy stuff in there. But even like Twins was kind of good and stuff. It was like dumb. But
yeah,
good.
Twins is a favorite of mine. I think I'll probably review that from Popcorn 10.
Yeah, it's
because I remember watching that movie and just at first not getting it, but I'm older now, so I probably would understand a lot of the stuff going on.
So,
but
this is prime Arnold. This is when he and Sly were duking it out at the box office on who's the world's biggest action star. This is right before Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal and that next wave of action heroes. So it was, at the time, it was like between him and Sly and Chuck Norris. But I think at this point, both of them kind of took another stratosphere from where Chuck Norris was. And so it was good seeing prime Arnie, you know what I'm saying, right in the 80s action. Then, you know, Predator is like, to me, it's like an action, sci-fi, horror, suspense movie all rolled into one and stuff.
Oh yeah, man. Right off the bat, I want to say I saw this one first before any of the other movies, but I'm pretty sure I saw the second one. Yeah. I don't know why my early movie viewings always started with one of the sequels. Maybe that's why I got into this podcasting gimmick of doing bad sequels, because I've always watched the fucking worst, or I've always watched the second one or the third one in the franchise and the original.
Yeah, most of the time, not as good as the first. There's some outliers, you know. Like, speaking of Terminator, you know, Terminator 2 is one of those. So yeah, it's funny how, you know, because I'm the opposite. I have to see I have to see the first one to get the story, the real story and stuff. But so if you haven't seen any of these, definitely watch this one first, because and if you know like the backstory and the rest of the canon and stuff, it kind of, you know, takes away some of the suspense and all that stuff. You know, the mysterious predator that's hunting this crew of commandos in the jungles and shit in Central America. But highly, you know, put this on your guys. This is a guy's movie. It still holds up, man.
Oh yeah,
the action.
Oh yeah, this is.
Effects. I mean, they could have made this last year, and there'd be some minor tweaks in technology and stuff, but you could largely redo it the exact same way. And
oh yeah,
the score was tremendous. It set up a lot of the suspense scenes and the little jump scares and stuff like that. So this was very well done. This was a very well done movie. And John McTiernan was the director.
I mean, we got Bill Dukes in it, who we also saw in Commando.
Yes.
Now Commando came after this one, right? 88 or was it 86?
I can't remember. All of Arnie's movies run kind of together to me in that era. So I was trying to figure out. Did this come out? I think this came out after Commando.
Afterwards, yeah.
I think Commando may have been like 85, and then you mentioned Jesse Ventura. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think Jesse was also in The Running Man with him as well. That's a cult classic that I haven't seen in a very long time. I might check that out.
I haven't seen that one at all, but I know of it, and I think I've seen clips here or there. And no, scratch that. I haven't seen it from beginning to end. I think I caught the end of it one time, right at the end.
Yeah, it was long, but so I barely remember.
80s, I remember the 80s Arnold.
Yeah, but that was a good movie. That was one of his breakout movies too.
So yeah, man. The story comes. These commandos are brought in for a rescue mission because they're a rescue unit. They They consist of Jesse, Bill Duke's character, their buddies, a couple of smaller guys. I think Hawkins was one of them with the bad vagina with the vagina jokes.
Yeah, jokes. Yeah, yeah.
We get Billy, the silent Native American badass. Really, they're all pretty badass. The tracker.
Yeah, of course, he's got to be the spiritual, But that's cool, That's cool.
We get the Hispanic, I guess, Pancho. What they call him, Pancho Ramirez.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the Oh yeah, I forgot about yeah. So they had a token Latino male, token two token black guys in the main cast. Well, I'm stepping all over your intro.
Yeah. No, you good, bro. You good. Well, Bill Duke's character was in the unit. Carl Weathers was the CIA agent or operative that met I think his name was Dylan.
No,
Dutch.
Carl Weathers was Dylan. Yeah.
Yeah. Dylan, you son of a bitch. And then they do that mid-air arm wrestling thing that's now like the meme of
I said you talk about when they dap up in the beginning.
Yeah.
Bicep flex. Bicep flex.
And who else is on the unit?
Hawkins, who was
Dutch.
We're forgetting. Oh, of course, Blaine, Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. I think I mentioned him.
Pancho.
And so they're the rescue unit. They get called in. The story is that they're called in to pick up a cabinet member and some other people that their helicopter went down in. I wouldn't say enemy lines, like I think they're in South America,
somewhere in Central America. So it could be like Nicaragua or Panama or one of them.
Yeah. And so that's the cover story that Dylan tells them. Right out the gate, they go to, I guess, where the helicopter had crashed, and that they got that intel. They discover that has been shot down by the Predator. They don't know at the time. Right. They also see a previous team skinned alive, hanging by their feet.
Yeah.
And Pancho is the one that kind of starts to tell Dutch, Dutch, this doesn't look like, this doesn't look like, what they're telling you. There's
surveillance. And so it looked like a surveillance or something like that.
Yeah. So Dutch has already got in his head, like, what the fuck is going on with this dude? Like, what's
something shady?
Because you can tell this unit is tight. This unit is, with the exception of that one dude trying to make Billy laugh with like the large vagina jokes, which he does eventually before he dies.
Spoiler alert.
What was the joke that he said? Something about no, it's not too big, because the echo, and that's the one that makes him laugh. The other one is like,
so why'd you say it twice?
Yeah. It was and he has to explain it. He's like, it's because of the echo, and then like 2 seconds later, you hear that laugh that we hear back at close to the end, right? Where because the Predator records these people talking and what's Bill Duke's character? He said something to Dylan about, when he had killed that scorpion on his back.
Anytime.
Yeah, and so over here.
Oh yeah,
over here.
Do that too.
The only thing, like, just hearing that crossed my mind of those cryptid stories of being in the woods and hearing like people, like supposedly hearing someone they know call for help or something, or even just someone calling for help, so they go and then you never hear from them again. I don't know if you're into those type of creepy stories or whatever. And that's the one thing that popped in my head. So they're investigating. They come across. So they know that there's hostages, and they come across, I guess, the camp.
With another team.
They had
like the Russian dudes that were there.
Yeah, and so that's it had, and this is one of the things like I remember watching the movie and not really like, you know, listening to like the actual story of why they're there. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I watch the movie, it's kind of like in the background. I was like, oh, okay, like, oh, that's that part, boom, boom, boom. But watching it, sitting in front of it, like I've literally watched it on my screen right here. Like, oh shit, there's like a story, like, well, of course, but there's like an actual like CIA type, Black Ops type of story going on here. And
You
it
would have
comes
took the
to
Predator out. You would have took the Predator out. This still would have been a badass action movie. Just that premise right there.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And so yeah, so like that team that was skinned alive, Dutch knew that guy, Hopper,
Hopkins,
and he was green,
Harper or Hopkins, whatever.
something like that. Yeah, but he was a Green Beret. Now those motherfuckers are badass too, and this Predator fucking took him out and skinned him alive and did all that shit. Yeah, and that's when it starts going down. After that, after they blow that place to smithereens. They fucking they lit that place up like the 4th of July. And
those guys were carrying
they find a girl,
ammo, heavy artillery.
So yeah, they find the girl. They take her. They're gonna rendezvous with the pickup point, which they realize it's gonna be further away because it's still kind of like a hot area. Now, the Predator starts taking them out one by one. I think Hawkins was the first one, and then who was Blaine was the second one.
Yeah, Blaine got talk about bleeding the hard way.
He ain't got time to bleed.
Get out of the comedy business immediately, man. Because if that's comedy, bro, I want to be a plumber.
Sorry, Vince. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying, man.
Yeah. So Blaine had that classic line, where Pancho tells him, "Hey, man, you bleeding?" He's like, "I ain't got time to bleed."
Yeah.
I
still say that to this day, man.
Mm-hmm.
Time to bleed. Yeah. This is a badass thing to say. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then he gets got like bandages on it when you see him next and shit.
Yeah.
Think that was okay. So yeah, and then so Blaine gets the second one to go to get taken out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think what is Bill Duke's character. I just keep calling him Duke, but
Mac.
his character, what was it? Mac.
Yeah, Sergeant Mac.
Yeah. He you could tell when Blaine died that he's like, that was his boy. That was like, fuck. Like he was like he starts he doesn't, I don't know if you would say he loses his mind, but he starts to like, I'm gonna find these motherfuckers. I'm gonna carve your name, and I'm gonna fucking carve your name in their chest and all this other shit, because they think they're dealing with people, but then they realize, nah, they're fucking with something different. They're fucking with something supernatural or whatever. And what's that girl's name? She starts talking about how when the heat is when it gets really, really hot, that's when the stories of the So and then we see what was it, 2 years ago, Prey, that came out, where the Predator or a Predator fought a Native American chick.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but I heard that was good.
Oh, dude, it is worth a watch. It is way like, how like, so I saw the 2018 one. I reviewed that one.
Yeah, I listened to that just before. I listened to that at work today.
Oh,
I was gonna watch it. I was like, maybe I'll watch this one too. But based on
it's funny. It's got comedy in it, and it's a good. I would definitely watch. Have you seen part 2 with Danny Glover?
Yeah, those are the only two I've seen. The first one and the second one. I haven't seen. I think I might have seen Alien versus Predator, but the other ones I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's right. Because AVP, those came out way before the 2010 one.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch the Predators, the Predator, and then this, and then Prey. The following this, so technically it's 5 movies in that franchise, 7 if you include AVP. AVP ones are pretty good. I like the first AVP.
Yeah,
because I know there was like a storyline with the comics that came out in the 90s, and then there was a video game.
Yeah, I was listening to some podcasts, and they were talking about a bunch of those different crossovers they had back in the day, like RoboCop versus Terminator, and all those things. You know, those Dark Horse comics and stuff. So
they definitely started to shine light in some sort of like shared universe, because that RoboCop versus Terminator, you come to find out that RoboCop is Skynet or something like that. It's crazy.
That's trippy, man.
So this one, so that Prey movie took it back to its roots, almost in like a suspenseful kind of way. And then that element of a Native American where there's, you know, they don't have no guns. It's like almost bow and arrow, you know, hand-to-hand combat type weapons, or, you know, that type of stuff. So so Mac has that, you know, you kill my brother, I'm gonna go to my grave to take you out.
Right.
And we see him, which kind of sucks the way he dies. You know what I mean? Like, he has this badass fucking gun. He's shooting like crazy. As soon as Blaine gets hit, he just starts leveling like mowing down the forest with his gun, with his minigun or whatever. And without even skipping a beat, here comes everybody else. Everybody's just unloading because they see him shooting, and it's like, who needs ammunition? Fuck it, right? I'm out of ammunition. You know, like, what?
Yeah, no. So they technically would use all of their ammo for the entire mission and stuff. You know,
I was expecting this
movie ammo, so it's like unlimited supplies of this stuff.
I was waiting for the little hostage lady to start throwing rocks. Tenga, pétale. You know, like just fucking going to town yelling, Diablo, Diablo.
Stupid.
He was all in the night, and it was crazy too, because all this stuff takes place in like 2 days, because they drop in the morning. That night they lost 2 guys. The following morning they lose almost the remainder, because and I'm jumping ahead, but from the moment that Billy dies, I think Pancho was injured. Pancho gets Pancho, but I can still make it. All fucking bruised up from the chest. They're kind of like dragging him along. The Predator goes after them. He doesn't attack the girl because she hasn't held a weapon or anything, so the Predator doesn't see her as a threat. Dutch sees this, and he kind of prevents her.
Yeah, there's no sport if they're unarmed, and he's actually hunting hunting / combat. He's taking trophies, because like, you know, he's going back for the bodies and taking their skulls out. You know, like that scene. Because he comes in the night and takes Blaine's body without them knowing, and they're all like, what the fuck is going on? Oh shit. They all booby trapped and all that stuff, and he maneuvered his way through claymores and all kinds of shit, tripwires. That's another thing that was pretty dope. This whole team are silent as fuck. Have you seen that? You know, that part where they roll up on that camp for the hostages? Whistles, but they're very silent, and it's, you know, there's a lot of brush and leaves, and so they're gonna be making some sort of noise. These motherfuckers, the enemy guys, they don't know what the fuck's going on. They're just chilling, but they are. You can even hear it in the movie. They're just, you barely hear anything. They just, and these are some buff dudes. You know what I mean? Like, they've got, you know, silent but deadly. That's like a ninja. Ninja's got to be like Jet Li, 4 foot, whatever. You know, like an Expendables movie. Like, but carrying all that ammo and stuff too. Is like how they do all silently.
Yeah, and running through the woods when that chick escapes, and they were running after her right before Hawkins gets got, and so now, like I said, all this takes place with like 2 days and 2 nights. Right about the time Okay, so Mac, like I said, Mac gets killed probably in the shittiest way because he's trying to like maneuver, and him and Dylan kind of go after the predator
Yeah.
while the other guys flee, and he's just, you know, thinking he's quiet, and then you see like the fucking the
Those red
I want to
dots.
say legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I thought
three
it was
red
Biggie
dots.
warning at the end of Biggie's warning. What red dot? Oh,
Not just
shit.
one, three. They're like triangular. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. And then when he moves his head to kind of see, bye. Adios. Vaya con Dios. He gets it to the dome. And
And then Carl Weathers gets his right after. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and that one shot with his he shoots his arm off and it's still shooting. Da, 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 da. He whips around, grabs the other gun, and then that's when the predator just shish kebabs him. Wolverine, and sticks him right there. And now you hear his screams. Is Billy.
So which movie death? Let's take a pause here because he did a blockbuster with Sly and he did a blockbuster with Arnold, and so I remember crying in Rocky IV when Drago beat Apollo to death. You know, I cried. I literally cried as a little kid, and then just being stunned by seeing Apollo Creed Action Jackson's arm get blown off like that. I just remember the first time I saw it, but like between him and Bill Duke, just that little sequence as a 12-year-old, 12, when did this come out? 87?
87.
So I was either in 7th or 8th grade, depending when it came out. But anyway, so just being shocked, the way he went out in that. So I'm like, damn, which of those movies? I was thinking about. I was like, which movie death? Because they both hit a little different. There's the emotion with Apollo, and then there's like the shock, the way what's his name, Dylan went out. So I just wanted to bring that sidebar up to it. So yeah, so he, I think as far as awesome factor, he definitely had the awesome factor in this movie over Rocky IV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, his death in this movie was way, let's say, cooler, but was way more like, impactful than
badass at the same time. It's like he went down shooting, and he got gutted, at the end.
Yeah, that shot of the arm falling to the ground and still pulling on the trigger. That's like, oh shit. But then again, you brought up the Rocky IV scene.
Yeah.
That is pretty traumatic too. That is pretty iconic as well, because that not only, pushes the story of that film forward as to why Rocky gets back in the ring.
Right.
But it also, it's like, fuck, because I mean, by that time in that movie franchise, Apollo was, like, hell yeah. Now by because the third one, he's Rocky's friend.
Yeah,
helping Rocky.
Yep.
Yeah, so 4 comes around, you're like
rematch. Yep.
Yeah, so 4, you're like, yay, they're gonna team up again. And what the fuck? He's dead. What? Whoa, shit. The same thing with Mickey in the third movie.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Conan, Joe, and Disco are actually talking about the Rocky franchise on the current edition of Keeping It 100. And I went through that run last year or maybe the year before. And I even forced myself to watch 5. You know what I'm saying? And definitely 1 through 4 are definitely worth a rewatch in order. It is a good story, just like this movie, and that's what I like about Predator. I like the story, the plot, the actual storytelling, getting from beginning to the end. You knew Billy even called it. He said, "We're all dead," and you knew it. The way as badass as this unknown Predator was, and it was just a matter of time. But it still set up the final fight scene and the finish very well. It's a very well told story.
Oh yeah. So when Billy when Billy goes out like a G. Like he's like,
I wish you would have showed
this.
something though. It really shows that though.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. I was like, why didn't they show some sort of showdown between the two?
Billy at least got some licks in, you know, and then they could have cut off. You know.
Yeah. Then we finally get the showdown between the remaining contenders, which is Dutch and the Predator, and he's wounded. He's got that lime green antifreeze looking blood.
Yeah.
Dutch, there's a little, I don't know if he got wounded or something. He kind of like took a hit. Yeah. He falls down into some water, which if you look at the camera shot when he's falling, if he would have fell straight down, he'd have hit the ground.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, how is he going to land in the water from that angle?
They could have at least done it a little bit better, or just made it seem, not even show that, just show him falling into water.
So and then like a water yards of coastline before he even got to that water, and even if he hit that, that was shallow as hell, you know.
And then, but not just one, but two waterfalls, right? Yeah. Or no.
Yeah, I think it was two waterfalls. Either that or it was from two shots.
I think it was one. Yeah. So he has to fall twice. Anyways, he makes it to some sort of shore, some sort of land, but he gets covered, gets all muddy. And the coolest fucking shots from here on out is the Predator falls down. He thinks he's safe. He's like, fuck, all right, cool, let me rest a little bit. There's no way he followed me. Splash. Here comes this motherfucker. His camouflage is already getting affected by the water, so he turns it off. And we finally get long enough look at the Predator. We got a little bit of a look at him when he was hanging from the trees and all that stuff, and he's basically, he turned off his camouflage, or his camouflage kind of like turned off and on.
Yeah, kind of glitched out.
Yeah, but from here on out, there's no more camouflage. I don't think. No, he uses it again, but we get a good shot of what this thing looks like, and he's got heat vision, so he can't really see Dutch all covered in mud. Something clicks in his head. He realizes he can't see me. I need to cover myself with mud. He jumps in, yeah. He's gonna retire. He goes guerrilla warfare on it. He starts Tarzaning it up, making booby traps, making tripwires by himself with vines and shit. That's some strong ass fucking vine rope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you saw that scene where he's tightening it down like the little latch or whatever, and it's like nothing, just wrapped around with vines and some shit on a little twig. Made
himself some explosive tip arrows with a wooden bow and arrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
with the gunpowder of his remaining ammunition. With what I don't know if he had it up his ass or where did he fuck? Because I don't think he fell with it, but he had it.
Noise, yeah.
Or he would have popped in his ass like when he landed in the, who knows. But now he's bringing the fight to him, covered in mud, sets up his trap, does his calling call, because he knows if he makes some noise or whatever, he's gonna come. Get the final battle. Boom, 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 boom. Falls somewhere. He kind of hides, swings from tree to tree, attacking them. Falls in some water again. Yeah. Where the fuck did all this water come from? Who knows? Fucking Rio Grande or some bullshit. Thinks he's safe again, or sort of he's just kind of like making his way, puts his head near like a log. Boom! Fucking Predator shows up and like forks his pitchforks, his Wolverine claws, not through his head, around his head. If you see that shot, it's almost like it extended out and then like just widened to kind of catch him. And then I guess since the Predator is fighting for game, for a prize, he sees this guy as a worthy opponent to go knuck to knuck. I'm not going to use my weapons. I'm not going to use my blades.
Right. Like this is going to be a great honor when I defeat this great warrior.
Yes.
Yeah.
he realizes this dude is all right. He's bringing it with no weaponry. All right, bet. Takes his shit off, takes his mask off, and we get that one beautiful line.
You one ugly motherfucker.
Because that's the one, I guess it's the one bad word you can say, right? In a rated R movie? Or am I thinking something else?
You get like one F-bomb, you know.
Yeah.
Like
so this had to have been rated R. So yeah, I doubt.
Yeah. This was.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some F-bombs dropped and and some stuff that people would probably be offended of now.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, so
Bane's opening line, calling them.
Yeah,
calling them out, you know, I was like, that's why I like watching just to hear those words that you can't say no more. Yeah,
Predator gets his ass beat and decides to bitch out and fucking detonate a bomb. You motherfucker had a Apple Watch fucking kaboom
after the fight scene. Yeah. And
yeah.
He finally went over. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dutch survives and makes it to the chopper. And him and the Cambodian immigrant fly away.
Wow, he's a Cambodian immigrant. I was thinking maybe Costa Rica or Nicaragua or Guatemala or something.
Oh, I don't know. I was dropping the Chappelle Show line. I need some breast milk from a Cambodian immigrant.
Wow.
Breast milk. Nothing.
Okay.
Okay, I want to make a special announcement. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the store right now, okay, and buy vegetables, okay? And I want you to take the vegetables and set them outside, okay?
Right.
And 10 days from now, when the vegetables are rotten, I want you to get a bag, put the vegetables in the bag, and when he's performing, I want you to throw the vegetables at him, okay? So if we can get some video of that, I'd like to post video, and we'll shout you out on the podcast.
And I like that.
Wow.
That's pretty messed up, man. I'm gonna have to disguise my voice.
We get Easter eggs in the following movies, a little bit in part 2, which I was pretty let down that Arnold has never, ever, not even a video cameo of some sort of like fake interview, like in a CIA bunker of any return to this character of Dutch. I think there has been some. Yeah. I think they mentioned him, or he may have showed up in the comics. I'm not too sure. Gary Busey's character in the second movie was supposed to be Dutch. Now he leads a team of people because he I guess feels like he needs to avenge his fallen brothers. But that never came. They casted Gary Busey and they did all that stuff. But they do talk about that in this incident in the 2010 movie and a little bit in the 2018 movie. But I think the whole time jumping of the Predator visiting Earth and this and that really came to light with that final scene in part 2. Where he hands him the musket or whatever, the rifle. And it's like, oh shit, they've been here before.
Speaking of Easter eggs, there's a little Easter egg at the very, very end of the movie. The movie's over and they show quick little action shots of the main cast, right?
Yeah. Huh.
Is it who was it? It was not Poncho, but Hawkins. Hawkins was reading comic book. He had a comic book in his hand.
Yeah.
Sergeant Rock. And so there was supposed to have been a adaptation of that comic book with Arnold Schwarzenegger as the star. John McTiernan, the director of this of Predator, was said to be the director, and Hawkins, he was also the writer. Shane Black was writing the script for that, and apparently it got derailed because they wanted John Cleese to be in there from the Monty Python fame or whatever, and he couldn't do it, and ultimately ended up getting shelved for different reasons. But so that was a nice little Easter egg because I remember, and as I flashback, I said, "Oh yeah, I remember they were doing that Sergeant Rock," because that was like a big deal. That was kind of going to be another competition movie with Stallone. And so it sounded like it was going to have some legs eventually. It's one of those movies that just never got made and just fizzled out, you know.
We're kind of going into the woods, into the
I know,
weeds
right?
with this stuff, but the icon stuff is, and all the backstory stuff of what could have been and how it came to be and how stuff came to be is very interesting and worth a watch and worth a diving into, going into the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
As for the Predator franchise, I really hope they keep doing what they did with Prey and kind of put some more films out there in this universe and not go into the too much of. I really wanted to see what happened after the Predators movie from 2010, because that ending was like really open-ended, and I guess because they didn't do too good commercial, like earnings wise or whatever. So I don't know, man. It would have been really, really interesting to see what happens there. And Robert Rodriguez, man, I don't know, man. In my mind, he is an amazing, not director, but storyteller too. Like everything he's done and everything he did, it's pretty badass. But yeah, man, the Predator franchise didn't stop with the 2018 film. They kind of realized what they're doing and they did the Prey. And at that time it was 2022. So things were still kind of recuperating from the whole COVID and how we release movies and stuff. And that dropped on Hulu. So if they stick with that, or if they put it through the movies, because and just tell a good story that still adds to the lore or the history of the Predator. Maybe set it, I don't know, in the future. I don't know if that would be worth it in the present day, where we can kind of connect some things. And I don't know. You know, it's kind of a weird formula because, like I said, I enjoyed all the Predator films. I really do. They're really fucking badass and yeah, man, like an iconic monster villain or a monster.
Yeah.
And
and that was, like I said, that's kind of where the horror part came into, because he was definitely something that I had never seen before, you know.
Any final thoughts on the film? Plugs you want to throw out there? Shows coming up? Anything? What's on the forefront of the Comic Chops universe?
Just follow me at CJ Tells Jokes, and any show announcements going on in South Texas, more than likely it'll be there. And then once I get Comic Chops, I want to get to a point where I can take clips of our, between the extra butters, the video that is in the can, and just create little shorts on YouTube while I'm putting together the long form podcast. So if there's anybody out there in the ether who wants to kind of help me out in that regard, I'd appreciate it and stuff. But I do have some AI editing things, like the script that I'm messing with. So it's just a matter of, like you said, just doing it yourself and getting better. So that's what I got. So I don't have nothing to announce right now, but I'm still in the creative space, still trying to get out there and flex these comedy chops. And this Comic Chops has been taken. Comic Chops out there. So if you're South Texas, San Antonio area, you know, and if you're thinking about doing stand up, if it's something that, you know, you've been afraid to try, I mean, you're not alone in the fear. The fear is normal. So do it.
Oh yeah.
Pop that cherry, you know.
All right, guys. I think we've covered a lot. We've covered enough for this episode of BiZaRrO. Shut up and refill my popcorn, and for a Spinsters episode, which more than likely is out before this episode. I will try and not, and if not, it's going to be after, because I want to release this episode this Friday. So I think the Spinsters will come after. And cool. And so yeah, man, it's always fun chopping it up with you, CJ. You're always you're always welcome here in the Shut Up Refill My Popcorn universe. Yeah, and I look forward to the discussions we have with some guests for the Comic Chops, man, and future extra butter episodes. Joe Feeney talking about you. Yeah.
Oh shit! Peter Cullen was the voice of the Predator. I didn't know that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So Peter Cullen was the voice of Optimus Prime. I think it was Megatron too.
Say.
Autobots, roll out.
Well, that being said, guys, I want to thank y'all for checking out this BiZaRrO episode. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Stay tuned on this feed and the main feed. And go like and subscribe Comic Chops. And with that being said, guys, remember, if you ain't laughing, you ain't living. Take care of yourself and the people you love. Nanu, nanu. Peace.
Take care, everybody.